We are on our 10th episode of our season 2, and this season has been full of so much different aspects and perspectives on the life. We've seen from moms who've moved here with twins, to conservationists, to politicians, to regular people like ourselves. But in this 10th episode, we have a very special guest, at least for myself, I can call him a good friend. And of course, this is Job the local.
I'm Rachel the Gringa.
And then today we have.
Michael Peralta.
So Michael Peralta is a great friend of mine. We go back for a way back into our high school days. We're gonna let him share about his life in Belize and in the island. But basically, to introduce him, he's a flat fishing guide in the island. And we're gonna start off by Michael. Who is, for the viewer who is actually both local and expat American, who is Michael Peralta and how did he become part of this island?
Well, first of all, my mom, who's Guatemalan, came to the island because of my aunt. My dad, Belizean guy from Orange Walk, and I was born here, raised here all my life. Don't know anything else other outside from this island. So I like to think I'm humble and hardworking. Have finally now made my own family, and I'm grateful that I have a good job that is in something that I love to do, which is flats fishing.
And just for the viewer perspective, Michael, how old are you?
I'm 26.
26.
Yes.
How long have you been doing fly fishing?
Oh, since I think I'm 12 or 13.
12 or 13.
So half your life.
Yeah.
Half your
More
life.
than half.
Yeah.
And can you tell us, what is flat fishing or flat fly fishing? I know fly fishing, I know deep sea fishing, right? But what? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So it's a sport, right? In the flats fishing aspect, we don't use bait, right? We use artificial lures, and the artificial lures specifically are made with hairs or feathers or other little light fibers that are easy to cast, and they're casted with a fly rod, which is different from a conventional rod or a spinning rod, to say. The lines are different. It needs a lot more technique, a lot more practice, and the harder part about it, that's one tough part about it, the casting. And then the other part is it's more like hunting, where my job as the guide is to be in the back of the boat, standing on my platform, pushing the boat.
Oh, wow.
So we're as quiet as we can be, so we don't spook the fish, so that the angler can get a reasonable distance to make a cast, right? And where we have to see it, because we're not using bait, we're using lures that they have no smell,
Right?
They don't give the same vibrations as the real thing, right? So the only instinct we're going by from the fish is their visual instinct. So if they don't see it, or even if they see it and it doesn't move the right way, they're not gonna eat it. So I like to say it's like hunting, but with extra steps, because even making a good shot, that's still just the beginning, because after you make a good shot, you still gotta strip it, hook the fish, and then fight it, right?
Wow. So when you say flats, it's because you're in the low, like the shallower areas.
Yes. We stay in the inside of the reef.
Okay.
So that's the beauty that we've been blessed with, is that we have a lot of flats, and we have the fish the habit, that common feed there, right? Because hopefully it stays like that a little longer too.
What kind of fish is it that you're typically catching?
We're going after bonefish, tarpon, and permit.
Got it.
Yeah.
And those are all catch and release,
Yes.
right? There's no
Yes,
reeling them in.
no.
I guess not reeling. You do reel them in
Yes,
still, right?
yes,
So you reel
yes.
them in, but there's no eating
Yes. Yeah. And the best part about it is that so far, from what I know, Belize is the only place that protects them. Right. So we have, at least on that part, that where we have that little security on the fish side, right? On the habitat side, that's a different thing, where.
And it was a very interesting thing that you mentioned, that you started off at the age of 12. How does a 12-year-old who, started off in this island go about finding his passion being something as unique and as interesting as fly fishing? Because you hear all this, everyone, at least not everyone, but a lot of people are tour guides, and there's a lot of dive masters and people who learn to dive and what's not, but it's a lot more smaller ratio of number of people who you hear them say, oh, I'm a fly fishing expert. And I'd call you an expert because, after over a decade, I would think that you would know what but how did that go happen?
Well, I like to say I get really lucky, and because I also used to every now and then hear somebody say fly fishing, and I didn't know what it was. Since I was 4 or 5 years old, I'm already swimming, jumping off the docks, swimming, loving the water. An uncle that I grew up seeing as a dad, because my dad wasn't present, and I grew up calling him a dad all the time. He used to be a tour guide. He used to do snorkeling, sometimes diving, and he used to spearfish too sometimes. So he instilled in me that loving the water. And I always thought I was going to be either a snorkeling guide or a diving guide, right? I used to like fishing. I used to go handline fishing on my own on the docks, catch little snappers and
Fry them up.
yeah, fry them up. Or sometimes if you catch a little bigger one, try go sell it at a Chinese man for only $4 or something like that, and to buy more hooks and more line. But I didn't know that it could have been a job, right? Luckily, my aunt used to sell at the park fast food, and being there, they have a lot of friends, and a good friend, family friend, just out of nowhere, just reached one day and was like, "You wanna go fishing? You wanna go?" And then I didn't know what he did. He said, "You're gonna wake up at 5 in the morning. Sometimes you gotta wake up at 4:30." And I was like, "I'm up for it," because I was already going snorkeling with my uncle and all that. And he's like, "You're gonna wake up early, and we're gonna go fishing." And when I got there, I was assuming we were gonna go offshore or go look for marlins or something, especially with the gear that they have, because it kind of counterintuitive with the rods, because the rods are so much longer than a spin rod, and the line is a lot thicker. Almost looks like headphone,
Yeah.
because the hook has no weight, right? So you're casting the line. But I was assuming we were gonna go catch monster fish, and we went, and it was the first day we gone. It was cold front. I had a t-shirt. I didn't even own a Columbia shirt or nothing like that. And we went out. It was raining. I saw the guy casting. I liked it, but I'm shivering right there. And I saw him hook a little tarpon. And after that, I wanted to go every weekend, every time chance I get a break from school. and I was trying not to mess it up. I was always trying to be cleaning his boat, making sure the guests are happy, asking them if they need water or something, so that I make myself useful in the boat and they want to bring me back. That really helped me out a lot, and try learning as much as I could now.
Well, and
You
something I
mentioned
want.
something.
Good. You go ahead.
You mentioned something. Now you do you captain your own boat? What's
Yes,
the
yes,
so you do your own thing now?
yes. I did go with Luis Paz. He's the guy that first just introduced me into it, and then his father, which is Tomas Paz, which they're natives from the island. Mr. Tomas, he was one of the first guides at El Pescador, so I got a lot of knowledge from him being right there in the boat, and then help because he sometimes needed some help pushing the boat, and especially when it was windy, it was better having me there, 'cause
Right.
I'm doing most of the work at that moment. But yeah, we would switch up. If I didn't do anything right, like they would come back and do it. He would do it himself. But yeah, that's where I learn a little bit every day, and for almost 6 years, apprenticing, till I was legally could guide on my own, and I was confident enough to do it on my own too.
And so you had some really great guidance, and El Pescador is probably one of the best fishing lodges here in the country,
Yeah,
right?
it was the first to start it off. Yeah.
So you had some really good experience.
Oh yes.
And so now you're captaining your own. You're doing your own tours.
Yeah. Saved up for my boat, and now I do go out on my own. Got my own clients now too.
Fantastic. So I grew up in the States. I grew up in New York, and my uncles love to fish, right? And they're always in their boats on the weekends and going out. And we have different fish up there. Honestly, I don't even know what they are, but they're very different than the fish we have here, right? But they have a program on a lot of the boats called fish finders. You've heard of fish finders, right? So essentially it's like a GPS, but it detects where all the fish are.
Yeah.
So you literally just follow your fish finder to the fish.
Yeah.
Do you have something like that here?
Yeah, my eyes. Yeah. So that's where it's very different. That's where we're, like I said, we're blessed with the flats because it's clear water.
Yes, you can.
So a fish finder would actually set me back because I can see a lot farther than what
that is telling you on the screen.
And we're typical in shallower water, right? So the fish finders are more like for
deeper
water or under the boat, right? And
interesting.
Like I said, we're literally hunting. Sometimes we go for hours, just pushing the boat down a flat, not see anything, to get one cast that probably not even the right cast, and that was it, So, and then sometimes, because it's like a big, to us, it's a big reward, right?
It's huge.
Because it's knowing that, because a lot of times when you do catch a fish, you work for it. It's not like
it's not cheating.
With
a fish finder.
Well, and it's not like, because like I said, going back again with the flies, right? You have to see the fish, cast in front of it, make the right cast, which is usually 40 to 70 feet away, and you have a little, hula hoop where you gotta land, and for the fish to see it and want to eat it afterwards, and then there's a lot more steps too after hooking.
How did you
fighting it?
How did you first you mentioned that it was obviously you have to go to the flats where you will find most of the fish there, but now you mentioned about casting. Personally, to yourself, how long did it took you to the point where you are casting at a level that you feel like, man,
I'm
I'm
pretty
a
good.
I'm good at this. Because the other day I went to, went with Chubbs to Kikaker, and we went on the boat, and I was trolling all the way, and I literally only caught one fish through the whole 2.5 hours we were there. That was annoying to me.
And that's
'Cause
a
that was
very different way of
very
fishing
different.
too, right?
different, yeah.
For you, how long did it took you from when you started off, and then you went into to when you were like, yeah, I know how to do this.
Well, it was very different because, like I said, I started helping out on the boat. I didn't have a rod. I was just looking. I was seeing, and I would hear the guides be giving instructions. So then, maybe after like a year, just watching, I knew what the mistakes were. If I probably didn't know how to cast yet, but I could see somebody doing it wrong. I knew what was wrong. So when I finally got the chance to grab a rod, when I was doing it wrong, I was like, okay, I'm taking my hand too far back, so I gotta shorten it, and just work it out on my own. But never really got the chance to go fishing myself. And even now I kind of enjoy putting people on fish more than like going myself fishing. And to brag a little bit too, we had a casting tournament a few months ago, and I came out champion and got like 105 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you're throwing a very light hook the farthest away
On a thicker line.
on a thicker line.
Yes.
And
Show us the movements.
no.
Yeah,
What we will do is we will hopefully, this episode's not gonna go live right now. We'll go one of these days, hopefully when he's free, and record that section of what does the actual
All right.
casting look like.
All right.
So,
But I still want to
we'll
see it
do
right
that.
now. I'm getting antsy. Like, is it like a flip of the wrist?
No,
Is it like a whole arm thing?
So that's where always everybody, when you see somebody casting, it looks like they're like just flicking their wrist and throwing it. I like to tell people it kind of looks like the Olympics, the people that go with the ribbon and the ballet kind of, it kind of looks like that. But it's very aggressive to a hard stop. And let's say my thumb would be the rod tip, right? I'm pretty much drawing a straight line in the air with my rod, right? My arm can just move right here, but be aggressive enough where I'm casting the line behind me to get that weight, so that when it comes back forward, it kind of slingshots it up to the front, right? And then the better you load it, the more weight you put on it, the farther it's gonna go, or the quicker it's gonna get out there too.
Quicker, right?
Because
Probably important.
Other times, you could probably make the cast, but the fish is not gonna wait for you either, right? They have no reason just to stay there. Most of the times on the flats, they're either coming in to feed or going
somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere, right? So even when they're feeding, they're still on the move. They got so many predators behind them. So that's what makes them targeted, right? Because they fight hard and they're spooky. So they're not easy, right? So they're not aggressive fish. If you got an eat, it's because you made them eat, pretty much.
Yeah.
Would you say like the chance of getting all three? Let's say somebody's here, they're going to be fly fishing for 5 days. What is the likelihood of them getting all three?
So
I mean, I know
there's a name for when you get all three in one day. It's called a Grand Slam.
Oh, Grand Slam, okay.
And Belize is known for producing the most Grand Slams too. Well, a good amount than other places, right? So even though a lot of people come specifically targeting a fish, let's say some people come just for bonefish or some would come just for permit or tarpon. When they, depending on their skill level, it all, there's some people that might be fishing for 30 years, but they have been fishing in rivers in the States, freshwater, which is completely different from here, right?
Okay.
Where those rivers, you don't need a long cast, so their habits when they transition to
Got it.
saltwater to doing this flats fishing, it's a lot harder and it's a little more frustrating for them. So they might just get bonefish. Bonefish are I wouldn't say the easiest, but they're more honest, So if you make a cast in front of them and you move it, they're gonna eat. Permit and tarpon are a little different, where sometimes either you make, especially on permit, you make a lot of perfect casts. They're the most frustrating ones out of the three. Some guys will make perfect casts and it might not be the right fly, or they move it wrong and they don't want it, and they spook, or they spook before the fly even lands. They hear the boat, and then the tarpon, when you hook them, they jump. They jump. They try to shake the hook off. So you got a lot more chances of losing one than actually catching one, right?
Sounds like tarpons are the funner ones to catch.
Yeah, well,
They're
they are. So a lot more people come down for permit just because
It's easier.
we not easier, but we have a lot more chances for them. But if you do get a permit, let's say early in the week, you got the rest of the week to go for a tarpon. And then, like I said, bonefish is usually a little bit more honest. So usually along the way, you catch a bonefish. So just now I've finished a package of 4 days with some clients, right? A couple, husband and wife, their first time down here.
But not their first time fly fishing.
No,
Okay.
but first time saltwater. So the first day I took them out, we were, getting them, seeing. I gotta see what they can do with their casts too, right? And then so we go for bonefish because they give us a little bit more opportunities to mess up, Whereas a permit or a tarpon, you get one chance, and if you messed it up, that might be it.
Right? For the whole trip.
Yeah, and they get frustrated a little more, right? So we caught some bonefish. Then the next day they're like, they want to try for tarpon.
Yeah, they're feeling good. Like, they're amped up.
Yeah, we went. We hooked a couple, but then now seeing the fish come out of the water, that mouth open up and eat the fly, they do something. They move the rod before the fish actually eats it, or they stop and don't hook them. It's very nerve-wracking when you're there at the moment, right? And so we got like several eats. We just couldn't catch any, and they both today caught a permit. Which today, because it was good weather, they each got one. So
wow, that's exciting.
It was good, but that's still not normal all the time. Right? They put in the time and the work, and because all day we only got maybe 8-hour day, we got probably 10 shots at permit. And those 10 shots add up maybe to 2 minutes, because it's all quick, and the rest of the time it's just me pushing the boat, looking around, looking at water, or seeing some fish, but they're too far away. And, so.
Yeah, it's not like you see fish that are far away and then you can just quickly engine the boat.
Yeah. So that's the other thing where I gotta kind of anticipate where they're gonna be, the wind. I gotta position the boat, gotta try to get there before the fish does, or all that, and be quiet too, so that they don't spook.
And what is the ideal time that you're usually out? Early morning?
Most of the time, we do leave early in the morning. We leave anywhere from like 5 or 6. Sometimes we leave at 7, just because the light, we want that especially for tarpon. Earlier the better because they're rolling a little more, getting that first light. But then after midday, we start getting the sun setting and we get more glare at our face, which is harder to see.
Right.
You know, so we try to go before we get that glare.
You mentioned tarpon, bonefish, and all that stuff, but where the heck do you go and find these fish, or where do you go where you know you're gonna have a more likelihood to find them? And you know, you don't have to give us your secrets of your secret spots, but just overall,
Longitude, latitude, give it to us direct,
GPS
you know?
coordinates.
So there's lots of areas, right? So in a day, maybe I'll make a run to a spot, maybe just run 30 minutes for bonefish and stay there. Other days, I gotta make an hour and a half run. You know, so it changes on wind.
On wind, you said?
On the wind,
Wow.
or weather, light, you know, all that I gotta take into account. And there's actually a lot of areas, you know. Sometimes I'm fishing on the ocean side by the reef, you know, but now it's a little harder with all the docks, right?
Right.
So most of the time I'm on the backside, and that's where most of the flats are. You know, a shallow area. Once you see a sandbar, you know, you might go to a couple of sandbars. Pass by a sandbar, you won't see fish there because, like I said, you gotta be quiet, pull it. You know, it's not like I know they're gonna be there. I know they show up there sometimes, right? So that's the whole reason why we go and check it out, depending on the conditions we get, right? Tarpon, and they all have tarpon, permit, and bonefish are fish that go on habit, right? So we know at certain tide they will be feeding like this, you know, or they'll be probably on this area or whatever. But we sometimes don't go at the same spot, you know, because there's so much areas. There'll be days where I might do good up north, and then the next day, just to show them something different, I'll go south, you know, and look for the same fish, and maybe not have a good day, or sometimes a better day,
right?
You know, but we just change it up. There's a lot of areas though. For tarpon, normally we fish alongside the mangroves. They hide underneath the roots. They like to ambush. And then bonefish and permit, they like more the open flats.
Got it.
Yeah, permit like it a little bit more deeper and like along the edges of some channels. But yeah, so we just check those areas that look good, and you know,
and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And then use your fish finder.
Yeah, and in a day I might check 1 or 2 spots, or go and look through 10, you know. And it just changes. There are days where it's a lot easier than others, you know. So,
and Michael, I know you are one of the. I remember, and I think you pretty sure know what I'm gonna talk about that video you shot with the, you know, when you were out fishing and you saw
the jaguar.
Yeah.
Oh, that was you?
Yeah.
I thought that was fake, honestly. Like, is that the one that was in the water?
I thought so too.
That's not the one in the water with the dolphin.
Yeah.
That
So
wasn't
tell us
real.
that story.
No, that wasn't real, Michael. Oh shit.
Charlie, we left at 5:30.
And give us an idea when this was, and for the viewer, we'll put the video playing so you can see it. But give us an idea of when it was and what.
I think it was around November, and
which year?
2019. No, sure.
I think it was about 2019.
3 years ago.
Yeah,
2021.
2021.
Yeah, that time of the year usually we get a little more cold fronts. We get a little north winds blowing from the back, so we don't get to fish on the backside as much because we get all the winders. A lot of times we go on the front side of the island or run across over on the mainland coastline just to get blocked from that wind. So there had been a couple days where a lot of people weren't fishing on the backside, and that day just calmed. It got flat calm. We left at 5:30. On the way there, there's this island called Deer Key, just before Bacalar Chico.
And you're on the west side over here, Deer Key, and north of.
So I was running between
Bracelet.
Deer Key and Santa Cruz, but maybe like a mile away, I could see what looked like a coconut. I thought it was a coconut, but how it's so calm, I'm seeing a wake behind it. And then I saw it kind of change direction and it kind of flipped. And so I was thinking maybe it's a trash bag. I'm like, I'm going to go to it, pick it up. But as I kept getting closer, because the sun's just rising, I could see the dark head, but the light kind of shimmering from a distance. This was still maybe like a good 400 or 500 feet away. I could kind of make out a little brown under the water.
Wow.
So I slowed down, and in my head, I was thinking somebody probably was trying to get rid of someone. Because it looked like somebody swimming tired, right? So I'm like, this is gonna be a rescue mission now. And I thought,
and you had clients with you.
Yes. And I'm going straight at it, and then my client saw it, and he's like, "What is that?" I'm still thinking it's a person, but I'm like, "I think it's a dog." I told him, and then he's like, "It looks like a big dog," and I'm like, "It might be a deer," because I've seen several deer back there too, and so I went around it. Now I'm sure it's not a person, right? I can see it looks like an animal. So I went around it to get a better light. And then as I went around it, the tail curled up and his teeth peeled at us. And I was like, holy shit, that's a jaguar, I told my guy. And I forgot about phone. I was there for maybe 20, 30 minutes just looking at him swimming. And the only reason I took out my phone because I kind of looked away, and then I saw a wake right behind it. So I thought it was a shark. I'm like, a shark's gonna eat it, and this is gonna be on National Geographic. So I pull out my phone, and there were like 6 or 7 dolphins around him. The light got better. But the weird thing that they kept doing is, I'm sure you've seen this, where when we're in a boat, they like to ride in front of the bow.
Mm-hmm.
So I was maybe a couple, like 20 feet away from the jaguar, and then they kept coming in front of the boat, and they kept going. So if I had the jaguar on my right, they kept trying to take me to the left. So I followed them maybe for like 200 yards away from the jaguar, and then all of a sudden they just shot right back at him. They did that 3 times. And I don't know what they were. I don't know if they were protecting it, they were trying to kill it, or they're just being curious. But that was awesome. And it was even better because I had never seen a jaguar, not even I'd never been to a class trip where they take you to the Belize Zoo. Yeah. So I got to see it, a way that nobody's ever. I don't think anybody's seen that before.
Yeah, I don't think it has happened.
That's
anytime
incredible.
soon.
Yeah. I truly thought that was like AI generated. We're like, nah,
I don't know how to do that.
This guy that's posting, he's good with his.
Probably, if I had that, I would make myself taller.
Wow, Michael, that is incredible.
Yeah,
it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing that you don't see all the time.
Truly, gosh, I was gonna start tearing when you were describing it, because that must have just been so magical.
Oh yes, at the moment, my guest, he's a 80-year-old guy. I told him it's a jaguar. He stood up, took pictures, sat down, and he's like, "Where are we gonna go fishing?" I'm like, "Sir, we're gonna stay here. This hasn't happened. I don't know if it's ever happened before where anybody's seen this, but I'm gonna take it in a little bit, just gonna make sure he gets into the shallower water." And then he just sat down there. But the next day he was a little more excited because everybody was telling him about it. Every time he's a repeat client. He fishes with me every year, like twice a year for a week. And so every time he comes down, he that's his conversation.
He's like, that was me.
Yeah. He takes out the
Yeah.
camera, but
But like, dude, you just
Yeah,
seen
so-
something.
so-
You can never beat that though.
Yeah,
like
so-
now what? Like, I guess you get the what is it, the three, the triple.
And the thing was, you would not want to see a jaguar that up close inland.
yeah.
In the water or on a boat, you were fine because you might.
Even there, you know, I was
Fast.
right beside him. When I take the motor off from neutral, put it in gear, I had to bump it up a little bit just to keep up with him, you know, and because he was swimming-
fast,
he was
huh?
fast, yeah, and
You weren't
there were
afraid
some
he was
people-
gonna want to jump in
there
the
were,
boat.
I
there
know,
were some
that's
people
what I was
commenting, "Oh, he's tired. You should have saved him or whatever."
Oh yeah,
In
let
my
me just
head-
let him hop into the
in
boat.
my head, I was like, I wanted to get the picture, but I didn't want to get too close because I'm thinking he just needs one claw to bury itself in the boat, and this is his boat. I'm like, I'm not messing with it. But
He's
yeah,
jumping up.
you could see all his muscles and everything.
Isn't it fascinating to have an experience like that? Because what it also helps you to realize is, you know, because sometimes in San Pedro town, you know, on the island here, we feel cluttered, right? There are so many golf carts, there are so many people, and we forget how big the island really is.
Yeah.
And to know about all that untouched land up north between there and Deer Key and some of the other keys, that there's so much
Oh, yeah.
wildlife there.
And that's the awesome thing about
It's crazy.
what I do. I get to see just the natural part of it.
Right.
Right?
The untouched.
The untouched part of it.
Yeah.
I've been several times where I'm looking in the water and I hear a little noise in the back, and then there's a deer chewing on some mangrove, and they don't even care about me. You know, I try to get closer, and he just turns his head and goes right back in. You know, I've seen a couple foxes, some pigs, and people are like, "How is that?"
Right.
Yeah.
Because you forget how much
Yeah.
land is up there. Right. Untouched. That's right. Untouched.
And one of the things that you just started to mention was when it comes to you are a lot constantly in an untouched environment. And I know you are also part of the Flat Fishing Association here. Tell us, how did that get started, and what is that like? And, you know, a little overview of just what is it about.
So to start with, association in Belize is sometimes, especially with guides, when you mention association, that's kind of like saying the devil or something. Nobody
It's
wants
like a
to
no-no.
be, yeah, nobody wants to be
Oh,
part of it
interesting.
because you know, it's always just to get a letter for your license, and you know, there's
regulate.
and there's nothing that they really do other than sign
Oh,
a
okay.
paper for
Got it.
you. You know, there's guides, but there's no
Guidance.
so there's no help provided, or somebody to be the voice for us, right? Because we're the ones that are out there every day. We're the main stakeholders out there. We know what's happening out there every day, right? And especially like you said, in fly fishing, you don't hear much about it. So this was us trying to get together, not just as San Pedro, but as the entire flat fishery around Belize, right? Because we got members from all the way from Punta Gorda to Sarteneja now. So now when issues come up either here in San Pedro concerning the flats, or like just happened down south, I don't know if you heard about Angel Key or Wilbauer Flat. They tried selling a flat and passed it as an island.
This
And,
was Lands Department?
Yes, and they sold it, and the developer was gonna build a fishing lodge on it. You know, which is ridiculous because
Ironic. Very ironic.
yeah. So thankfully now, the government kind of are thinking of buying back the island because of I like to think that they saw the unity now that we have. That's where we always see the cane farmers. You know, when they want something done, they get together
Yeah.
and they make it happen, right? So why not us? Fly fishing, even though we're small, generates around $250 million US every year. No, well, this was what they did 3 years ago, a study that they did 3 years ago, right? And, for us not to be considered when doing all this development, it's, so that's the main reason why we started this association. Well, we mostly started to just get everybody together, right? We have a unified voice, and it was more to not really to fight for these, but that's what it's been so far. We got issues all around the country, not just in the flats. Just overdevelopment, and everybody's just getting tired of it.
Yeah.
And this is just one product of it.
Right.
We gotta take a stand and protect what's ours. I hear stories from older guides back in the day where they're like, "Oh, we just went right here. We didn't even have to pull. We just sat there and they cast and they catch a bunch of fish." Right? Now we move a lot more. You gotta run a little farther. Gas is not cheap.
Right,
which
and
is which
keep
is
it reasonable.
which is still okay. But people, at least people don't come here really to stay in their hotels, right? They come here to have
experiences like that, right?
And activities, and see the beauty of our country, right? And that's where I always say, before a fly fishing guide, I'm just a tour guide, Belize. So I always try to give them the best experience of the country, and so they leave with the same, hopefully the same love that I have for it.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing from you is that the issue comes with the sale and with the distribution of property that just frankly should have never been distributed as parcels to be sold to somebody, and then them in turn take it around and want to develop it, and then just completely forget that that's part of the ecosystem.
Yeah. Some in part, in reality, like I said, we just wanted to get together and be like, okay, we're all one, to trade knowledge, have like a insurance system for us, because nobody's really looking out for us too much, right? And so we gotta really look out for us and for our livelihood and our resources, right? We protect bonefish, tarpon, and permit, but who's really out there checking it? When they do evaluations to sell a property, to develop it, they always say they do their studies, never take in consideration what I like to think sometimes that I'm a scientist, because, I'm out there more than somebody in their office reading something off a book. I'm out there every day. A book might tell you that the fish will not come in here on a low tide, but I'm seeing it right there, So, or like our flats aren't our flats or lagoons, nursery, that are nursery homes for the same fish that we go for, and then the flats are feeding grounds, right? So even if they save all the flats, but then destroy all the nursery homes, you're already cutting the first step from them to get
nothing
there.
then,
It's
Well,
It's very important to take it as a wholesome approach instead of just, it's not just about the flat location, physical location of it, but the entire ecosystem that plays in role to having the entire experience for a tourist to happen.
Yeah, because if you think about it, fish grow on trees or under trees, to say, right? Because that's where they grow, and then when, as they get bigger, they can
go into the real world,
on, right? And but if there's less and less areas for them to grow, they're not gonna come in here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's wonderful that you all came together for the common good of what you really believe in. Because, and Job and I talk about it, there's so much complaining that happens on Facebook, right?
And that's the other thing, right? Like there's a Facebook post will just be for my friends,
right?
Even when we need something to get done, it just looks like tantrums at the end of the day, because you're not bringing it up to the persons that are
yes
to the higher ups, right? So now we want to have a legal way of doing it. Now how we're together, it's not just this group of people making noise. It's this entire organization,
right?
And it affects everybody, right? Because even if they had sold that flat down there, that was a big issue for us too. Even though I don't use it every day, because that's always a domino effect, right? It could always happen here, and it is, with Rosario and all that, which it's several issues that are happening here, but and probably not when I get into it, but yeah.
All right. Well, it's a very captivating story of the entire flat fishing community that you have shared with us, and we wanted to switch out a little bit more into the lifestyle aspect of your personal lifestyle, and start off with what is one of the things that you like about this island that makes it. I mean, you mentioned the flat fishing and stuff like that, but what is one thing about the people and the lifestyle that you really like of this island?
To be honest, I just like my fishing.
Right?
I love my fishing. Right? I love what I do. It's work, but
it's
fun. I love it.
We're gonna do a shirt. Fish is better than people.
I keep to myself a lot, right? And the people that I do know, they're always helpful. They, like I said, I wouldn't be here for the people that backed me up, right? And gave me that opportunity to work in this industry now. And I'll always be grateful for that, and supporting me, even though because a big part of getting into fly fishing is being related to somebody. They want to pass down that knowledge. All that knowledge is crucial. Like nobody will give you their secret spots or take you there or show you it, right? So for the people that did, I have a lot of respect and love.
Mr. Paz, you mentioned
Mr. Paz and several other guides in El Pescador too. That helped me out, like a couple of the Acosta family and the Paz family, and
there's a lot of love within the community.
Yes,
great. And now we go into the lifestyle aspect of it when it comes to the food places. Both for mainland and here in the island, outside of in the mainland, what is a place that you always love to go to? And for the island and the mainland, what is a place that you always go to for a specific plate of food that, if you are looking into, you're craving something, what is that usually like, and where do you go and have it?
Not that I really go to mainland to look for it, but if I see it, like sometimes at Belmopan, if I see give nut, I'll give it a try, because you don't get that too often down here. Here, like my fish, eating fish, and sometimes beef, beef.
So just for the listener who's watching, especially the one in American-based, give nut is just basically royal rat. It's a rodent, but it's a.
It looks like a guinea pig.
Kind of.
Yeah, it looks like a guinea pig.
It's a rainforest guinea pig that you also go hunting for, and it's actually pretty delicious. It looks cute on picture, but it's pretty good. And when it comes to spots in the mainland that you have gone to, and that because you've seen so much beauty when it comes to the flat fishing, but when you go to the mainland and you been to a spot that you either want to go back to or you enjoy going to?
Placencia. I really liked it, just for the feel kind of like an island, but it's connected to the mainland. You know, you can drive anywhere you want to, but you still can see from the sea to the lagoon and see the mountains in the back. I liked it. I don't know if I could live there, but yeah,
good to visit.
I really enjoyed the times I've been there.
Awesome. And Rachel, you
Final
were just-
question for you, Michael. If you were mayor of San Pedro, what is something that you would focus on or try to improve or better?
I don't know. They always have a tough job, but
It's true.
just the development. Well, I don't know if they have a say in it, but if that's part of it, I think just slowing down on the development is probably everybody's tired of hearing it, and everybody will keep saying it until it kind of slows down, right? You know, it's just going a little too fast.
Right.
Everything's going too fast, and we already have places like Cancun already, and Cancun's already there, and Florida's already there. So
Make it different.
Let's keep San Pedro what people want to come here for, you know. And
Yeah,
that's
it's a great answer.
Thanks very much, Michael. We appreciate you coming over to the show and giving us a bit of an insight and knowledge about the fly fishing community. And hopefully we can, in the near future, go out a day with you and just record all of this that you would mention, and that we can put it in the podcast so that people can enjoy, not just by what they hear, but visually be able to see why it is so important that we need to take care of our environment, take care of the ecosystem, and how we go by developing it. So we appreciate you coming over.
Before we end, you got it.
If people want to find and go, hopefully, maybe they also see a jaguar. We're not
expectations are set pretty high for you now, Michael.
Expectations are pretty high, right? If people want to go and find you, where do they go by finding you for them to go on a fly fishing tour with you?
Well, they can book through El Pescador, or they can contact me through my Instagram, which is Mikey So Fly. And
we'll leave his information down below, also his number, so you can reach out to him as well.
You're on WhatsApp?
yeah,
Perfect. We'll do that too.
Perfect. WhatsApp or Instagram, guys. Book him up. He's when you look at somebody when the passion of starting from such a young age and still keeping up with it, you kind of know that you're gonna have fun and you're gonna enjoy the sport. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you like this story, to share it with all your family and friends so that more people can find out about the beautiful Belizean lifestyle and the people that make up this beautiful country. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.